The bank statement trembled in my hands, its numbers screaming a truth I couldn't unsee. A $523,000 mortgage in my parents' names, tied to my sister's gleaming queen and mansion. At 39, Agatha, stood in my Seattle apartment, betrayed not just by their secret, but by the chilling realization they expected me to pay it off, as if my life were theirs to mortgage too. The Seattle rain was a steady drum against my apartment window, its rhythm a counterpoint to the chaos unfolding in my hands. At 39, Agatha, sat on my worn couch in my Fremont one-bedroom, the glow of a single lamp casting shadows over a bank statement I'd found in my parents' mailbox. I'd been at their Ravenna house earlier, dropping off groceries, a routine I'd kept since Dad's arthritis worsened, when I noticed the envelope, half hidden under bills, addressed to them from a lender I didn't recognize. Curiosity, or maybe instinct, made me open it, and now, the numbers glared. A $523,000 mortgage, originated 6 months ago, for a property on Queen and Hill. My sister Fiona's address. My chest tightened, my breath shallow. As the truth sank in, they'd funded her luxury home, and the overdue payment notices clipped to the statement hinted at a burden they hadn't shared. I was a data analyst, my life built on patterns and precision, my days spent untangling numbers for a tech firm downtown. My world was small but steady, a modest apartment, a used hatchback, savings for a future I hadn't quite defined. Fiona, at 32, was the opposite, vibrant, impulsive, a freelance interior designer whose Instagram glowed with curated perfection. Her new queen and home, a sleek 3-story with floor-to-ceiling windows, had been a mystery. She claimed a lucky deal when I visited last month, her laugh breezy as she poured me wine. How could they afford this? My inner monologue had wondered, but I dismissed it, trusting our family's openness. Now, the statement, its balance, its address, its demand for $3,800 monthly payments shattered that trust, betrayal curling in my gut like smoke. Why didn't they tell me? My inner voice demanded, frustration rising. Mom and Dad, both retired teachers, lived on fixed pensions in their paid-off Ravenna bungalow. They'd never mentioned a mortgage, never hinted at financial strain beyond Dad's medical bills, which I'd helped cover. I flipped through the statement's pages, my analyst's eye-catching details, their names as primary borrowers, Fiona's address as the property, a note scrawled in Mom's handwriting, Agatha, we need to talk. My heart lurched, the implication clear. They expected me to fix this, to shoulder their debt, as I'd always done. Why me? My inner monologue pressed, pain mingling with anger. I'd been the responsible one, the one who stayed local, who checked in, while Fiona chased dreams in Paris, then Portland. Her returns met with family fanfare. A flashback hit, sharp and vivid. I was 25, in their kitchen, Mom's eyes soft as she hugged Fiona, home from a failed art school stint. You're a spark, Fi, she'd said, while I, balancing grad school and a job, got a pat on the shoulder. You're so steady, Agatha. I'd smiled, bearing the sting, believing my role, provider, planner, was enough. Now, that role felt like a trap, their mortgage a betrayal of my sacrifices. Did they think I'd just pay? My inner voice seethed, frustration boiling. My savings, carefully built, were for my future, a house, maybe travel, not Fiona's mansion, her life of glossy excess. I called Mom, my fingers trembling, the rain's patter drowning my hesitation. She answered, her voice warm but strained. Agatha, you're up late. Mom, I found the mortgage statement, I said, my voice low, controlled, though my heart raced. $523,000 for Fiona's house. Why didn't you tell me? A pause, heavy, the line crackling. Oh, honey, she said, her tone faltering. We didn't want to worry you. It's complicated. Can we talk tomorrow? Mom, There's an overdue notice. I pressed, frustration leaking through. They're calling you delinquent. What's going on? Another pause, her breath shaky. It's for Fiona, she said, soft, almost pleading. She needed to start her business. You know how hard it's been for her. We thought we could manage, but what? I cut in, my voice sharper than intended. You expect me to pay it? I'm not a bank, Mom. No, she said quickly, too quickly. We'll figure it out. You're just so good with money, Agatha. Her words were a dodge, her reliance on me a familiar weight, and I hung up, my hands shaking, betrayal sinking deeper. They've already decided, my inner monologue hissed, the statement scrawl. Agatha, we need to talk. Proof of their assumption. Fiona's house, their debt, my burden. How had it come to this? I paced, the apartment's walls closing in, my analyst's mind spinning. What else are they hiding? My inner voice wondered, doubt creeping in. Fiona's lucky deal, Mom's evasions, Dad's silence. There was more to this, a secret beneath the numbers. A flashback surfaced. Last Christmas, Fiona showing off her new home's plans. Dad's quiet, it's a lot. Ignored as Mom gushed. Had they been planning this then, mortgaging their future, expecting me to catch them? Am I just their safety net? My heart ached, pain and frustration tangling, hope flickering. Maybe I could talk to Fiona, find clarity, but fading fast, their betrayal a fog I couldn't pierce. I sat again, the statement on my lap, its numbers a cold truth. Tomorrow, I'd go to their house, demand answers, but tonight, I was alone, the rain a relentless mirror to my turmoil. Who am I to them? My inner monologue questioned, a crack in my identity as daughter, sister, fixer. I'd always been their steady one, but at what cost? My savings, my dreams, my trust. Were they theirs to claim? The phone buzzed, a text from Fiona. Heard you talk to Mom. Let's chat soon, okay? Her casual tone was a spark to my anger, her silence on the mortgage a hint of complicity. What does she know? My inner voice pressed, suspense building. Her role in this unclear, her lucky deal, a puzzle I'd solve. The rain fell harder, the statement a weight in my hands, and I braced for tomorrow. Their answers a shadow I wasn't ready to face, my heart caught between loyalty and betrayal. The Seattle dawn was a muted gray, its light barely piercing the fog that clung to my Fremont apartment's windows, mirroring the haze of betrayal clouding my heart. At 39, Agatha, was reeling from the bank statement I'd found yesterday, a $523,000 mortgage in my parents' names, tied to my sister Fiona's queen and mansion, with overdue notices and a scrawled note, Agatha, we need to talk, hinting they expected me to pay it. Mom's evasive, it's complicated on the phone, Fiona's casual text, and the silence from Dad had shattered my trust, leaving me adrift in a family I thought I knew. I couldn't confront them yet. Anger and hurt held me back, but I needed answers, and so I began to investigate quietly, my data analyst's precision now a tool to unravel their secrets, my soul swinging between pain, hope, and a growing resolve to reclaim my place. I woke early, the bank statement on my nightstand a cold accusation, its numbers, $523,000, $3,800 monthly payments, burning in my mind.
Why didn't they tell me?
My inner monologue churned, betrayal a sharp edge. I'd been their steady one, the daughter who paid Dad's medical bills, dropped off groceries, balanced their checkbook when Mom's memory faltered. Fiona, 32, was their spark, her freelance design career a carousel of highs and lows, her queen and home a monument to dreams I'd never dared. Did they think I'd just agree? My inner voice seethed, frustration flaring, but doubt crept in. What if there's a reason? Something I don't see? The hope was fragile, a flicker against the pain of their secrecy, Moms. You're so good with money. A weight I hadn't chosen. A flashback surfaced, raw and telling. I was 30, In their Ravenna kitchen, Fiona, then 23, announcing her Paris internship, Mom's eyes bright with pride. "You're going to shine, Fi," she'd said, while I, fresh from a promotion, got a distracted "That's nice, Agatha." I'd buried the hurt, telling myself their love was equal. But now, the mortgage felt like proof. Fiona's dreams funded, my stability exploited. Was I always their backup plan? My inner monologue mourned, trust fracturing, the family I'd anchored, now a puzzle of motives I couldn't read. I started my investigation at my desk, coffee cooling, my laptop open to public records. As a data analyst, I knew how to dig patterns, discrepancies, truths hidden in numbers. I searched King County property records, my fingers trembling, and found the deed, Fiona's queen and address, purchased 6 months ago, my parents listed as co-borrowers, Fiona's name absent from the title. Why not her? My inner voice puzzled, a clue that deepened the mystery. The mortgage was in their names alone, a risk for retirees on pensions, their Ravenna bungalow their only asset. They could lose everything. My heart sank, fear mingling with anger. Why had they done this? And why assume I'd pay? Next, I checked their bank portal, using the login I'd set up for Dad's bills, a task they'd gratefully handed me. The account was a mess. Withdrawals to a lender, $7,600 in missed payments, their savings drained to $2,300. A transfer caught my eye, $10,000 from Fiona's account, labeled loan repayment, dated a year ago, before the mortgage. She borrowed from them too? My inner monologue reeled, a twist that stung. Fiona's lucky deal for her house, her breezy laugh, now felt like a lie, her financial struggles hidden behind Instagram filters. Did she push them into this? My inner voice questioned, my trust in her crumbling, our sisterhood, late-night talks, shared childhood secrets, a fading memory. I drove to their Ravenna house, the rain a soft curtain, my excuse a check-in, my real goal answers. Mom was in the garden, her hands in soil, Dad inside, his cane tapping. "Agatha, you're early," Mom said, her smile tight, her green eyes, Fiona's eyes, avoiding mine. I helped her weed, my voice casual. "Mom, I saw the mortgage notice. It's overdue. How are you managing?" Her hands stilled, dirt smudging her gloves. "Oh, that," she said, her voice faltering. "It's under control. Fiona's business is picking up. She'll help soon." Her words were hopeful, but her glance away was a clue, her faith in Fiona blind. "She's protecting her," my inner monologue noted, pain cutting deep, Mom's loyalty to Fiona a wall I couldn't breach. "Mom, it's $523,000, I said, my tone gentle but firm. "You can't cover that. Why didn't you ask me first?" She stood, brushing her hands, her voice soft. "You're so busy, Agatha. We didn't want to burden you." The lie was thin, her burden, a code for expectation, the scrawled note proof they'd planned to lean on me. They never intended to ask, my inner voice seethed, frustration surging, but hope flickered. Maybe Fiona didn't know. Maybe this was their choice. A flashback hit. Fiona at 18, crashing Dad's car, Mom's, she's learning, dismissing my offer to pay repairs. I'd always been the fixer, but never the favorite, my role clear now. Sacrifice, not sister. Inside, Dad was quieter, his arthritis flaring, his voice gruff. "It's for Fiona's future, Agatha. You've got yours sorted." His words were a punch, his assumption that I'd manage, always manage, a betrayal of its own. I found another clue in their study, a letter from the lender, half buried under papers. Second notice. Payment plan required or foreclosure proceedings may begin. My heart sank, the stakes higher than I'd feared. They're risking their home. My inner monologue panicked, but resolve hardened. I won't let them drag me down. Back in my apartment, I called Fiona, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. Fi, we need to talk about the mortgage. I said, no preamble. Mom and Dad took it out for your house. It's overdue. Her laugh was nervous, her tone light. Oh, that? It's just temporary, Agatha. My business is booming, I'll cover it soon. Her dismissal was a spark to my anger, her lie echoing Mom's, a pattern of evasion. Fiona, it's $523,000, I said, my voice sharp. They're delinquent. Did you know? A pause, her breath quick. They said they could handle it, she said, softer, but her defensiveness was a clue, her role in this unclear. You're good at fixing things, Agatha. Maybe you can help. Her suggestion was a betrayal, her assumption mirroring Mom's, and I hung up, my hands shaking, trust in her gone. She's complicit, my inner voice declared, pain and anger tangling, hope fading. Fiona's booming business, her borrowed $10,000, her silence. Were they deliberate, or was she a victim too? I sat, the statement beside me, my analyst's mind mapping next steps. Call the lender, verify the mortgage terms, protect my savings. I won't pay, my inner resolve vowed, a shift from fixer to guardian of my own life. But questions lingered. Fiona's role, their motives, the foreclosure threat. A flashback surfaced. Fiona's 21st birthday, Mom gifting her grandma's necklace, my share a handshake, their favoritism a seed now grown into this debt. What else have they hidden? My inner monologue pressed, suspense building, their secrets a shadow I'd chase. The fog thickened outside, my heart heavy with broken trust, and I braced for tomorrow, Fiona's lies, my parents' choices, a puzzle whose next piece could break me or set me free. The Seattle fog was a heavy shroud, wrapping my Fremont apartment in a silence that amplified the betrayal pulsing in my veins. At 39, Agatha, was unraveling a family secret that had shattered my trust, a $523,000 mortgage in my parents' names, tied to my sister Fiona's queen and mansion, with overdue notices and a note. Agatha, we need to talk, revealing their expectation that I'd pay it off. Mom's evasions, Fiona's dismissive, my business is booming, and Dad's gruff, you've got yours sorted, confirmed their financial irresponsibility and reliance on me, the steady daughter, excluded from their decision. My data analyst's precision drove me to investigate deeper, digging through documents and seeking answers, each clue a wound, each step a spark toward a plan to protect myself, my heart swinging between hurt, anger, and a quiet resolve to reclaim my life. The morning after my tense call with Fiona, I sat at my desk, laptop open, coffee bitter on my tongue, the bank statement a cold anchor beside me. They decided without me, my inner monologue seethed, betrayal raw. I'd been their fixer, paying Dad's medical bills, managing their accounts, yet they'd mortgaged their future for Fiona, expecting me to clean up, as if my savings, my dreams, were theirs to claim. Why am I always the afterthought? My inner voice mourned, pain cutting deep. A flashback hit. I was 28, helping Mom refinance their Ravenna bungalow, her grateful, "You're a rock, Agatha," a balm until now, when that rock felt like a chain, their exclusion a rejection of my place in our family. I started with the lender's portal, using Mom's login from their bill payments, my fingers trembling as I accessed the mortgage details. The loan was a high-risk adjustable rate, payments ballooning to $4,200 soon, far beyond their pensions. A delinquency notice, emailed last week, warned of foreclosure if unpaid by month's end, $11 for 100 owed. They're drowning, my inner monologue panicked, fear for their home, their retirement, clashing with anger. How could they be so reckless? The account showed Fiona's name on a single payment, $2,000, 3 months ago, marked partial, her booming business a lie, her financial irresponsibility clear. She's not even trying, my inner voice hissed, trust in her eroding further. Next, I called the lender, posing as Mom's financial advisor, a half-truth my analyst's ethics winced at but necessity demanded. The agent, brisk but helpful, confirmed the mortgage's terms and added a twist. Your parents listed you as a guarantor on the application, Miss Hensley. They said you'd cover shortfalls. My breath caught, shock giving way to fury. They forged my name? My inner monologue reeled, betrayal deepening. The agent clarified, no signature, just a verbal claim, but the intent stung. Their assumption that I'd pay a legal shadow I hadn't seen. They planned this. My heart ached. Their exclusion not just silence, but a deliberate bypassing of my consent. I drove to Fiona's Queen and Mansion, the rain a steady patter, my excuse a sisterly visit, my goal truth. Her home gleamed, its modern lines and manicured lawn a stark contrast to my modest apartment. She greeted me, her blonde hair loose, her smile forced. Agatha, twice in 1 week? What's up? Her tone was light, but her eyes darted, a clue to her unease. I followed her inside, the marble foyer echoing, her decor, silk cushions, abstract art, screaming wealth she couldn't sustain. Fiona, let's talk about the mortgage, I said, my voice calm but firm, sitting on her plush sofa. Mom and Dad are delinquent. You said you'd cover it. What's the plan? Her laugh was nervous, her hands fidgeting with a bracelet. It's fine, Agatha, she said, too quickly. My business is picking up a big client next month. I'll handle it. Her lie was thin, her eyes avoiding mine, and I pressed my analyst's instinct sharp. You paid $2,000 once. Fie. That's it. They're facing foreclosure. Did you know they listed me as guarantor? Her face paled, a flicker of guilt, then defiance. They mentioned you might help, she said, her voice low. You're good with money, Agatha. I thought you'd want to. Her words were a blade, her expectation a mirror to Mom's, Dad's, their collective assumption that I'd bail them out. They all decided without me. My inner monologue seethed, pain surging, my sister's complicity a fresh wound. A flashback hit. Fiona at 16, borrowing my car, denting it. Her, you can fix it. Agatha met with Mom's nod, my role cemented even then. I was never their equal. My heart mourned, trust in her, in them, a fading ember. I left, her let's talk soon ringing hollow, and stopped at the Ravenna house, needing more. Mom was at book club, Dad napping, the house quiet, its familiar creaks a comfort and a curse. In their study, I found a file labeled Fiona's house, its contents a goldmine of irresponsibility. Loan applications, Fiona's tax returns showing $22,000 in income last year, a letter from her bank denying her a mortgage due to insufficient credit. She couldn't qualify, so they stepped in, my inner voice pieced together, anger flaring. Another document, a promissory note, Fiona promising to repay them $50,000 and signed, dated a year ago, showed her pattern of borrowing, never repaying. They enabled her. My inner monologue fumed, their favoritism a reckless gamble, my exclusion a choice to protect her, not me. The documents, Fiona's lies, their expectations, hit like a tidal wave, the effects rippling through me. They've rewritten my life, my inner monologue grieved, my savings, my future, at risk if they defaulted, foreclosure a shadow over their home, my stability. I felt small, unseen, the daughter who'd given time, money, care, only to be sidelined, my trust in them shattered. Who am I to them? My inner voice questioned, pain and frustration tangling, but hope flickered, a resolve to break free. I won't pay, my heart vowed, not out of spite, but survival, a refusal to be their safety net. I began a plan, my analyst's mind mapping steps. First, I'd meet a financial advisor, protect my assets, ensure their debt couldn't touch me. I texted my friend Lila, a CPA, for a referral. Need someone sharp, urgent. Next, I'd confront Mom and Dad together, demand transparency, refuse their burden. I'd warn Fiona, Pay or face consequences, her debt not mine. Finally, I'd explore legal options, the guarantor claim, a potential fraud I'd fight. My first step was immediate. I emailed the lender, requesting all correspondence, citing discrepancies, my tone formal, my intent clear. I'm taking control. My inner resolve hardened, a shift from fixer to guardian of my own path. A flashback surfaced, softer but poignant. Last summer, Fiona's housewarming, her toast, to family as I stood quietly, Mom's arm around her. I'd felt loved, included, but now, that memory was tainted, their secret already brewing. What else don't I know? My inner monologue pressed, suspense building, the promissory note, the guarantor claim, hints of deeper deception. The fog lifted outside, but my heart remained heavy. The documents await, Fiona's role, their motives, a mystery whose next clue could redefine our family or destroy it. I stood, my plan a fragile shield, and braced for the confrontation, their answers a shadow I'd face with a trembling, determined heart. The Seattle rain had softened to a drizzle, but the storm inside me raged, a tempest of betrayal and resolve as I, Agatha, stood at a crossroads. At 39, I'd uncovered a $523,000 mortgage my parents took out for my sister Fiona's queen and mansion, their overdue payments and a note. Agatha, we need to talk, revealing their expectation that I'd cover it. Documents, Fiona's paltry income, an unsigned promissory note, their false claim I'd be guarantor, exposed their financial irresponsibility and favoritism, excluding me from a decision that risked their Ravenna home and my savings. Fiona's lie, my business is booming, and Mom's we didn't want to burden you, cemented their betrayal, shattering my trust. Now, my data analyst's precision fueled a quiet plan, not cruel revenge, but a calculated push to make them face their injustice, my heart torn between pain, guilt, and a fierce need to reclaim my worth. I sat in my Fremont apartment, the mortgage statement a grim talisman, my laptop open to spreadsheets tracking their debt, my plan forming like code. They assumed I'd pay, but I won't, my inner monologue declared, resolve hardening but guilt gnawed. Am I punishing them too harshly? I wasn't the Agatha who'd fix their messes, Dad's bills, Mom's accounts, but neither was I vindictive. This isn't revenge, my inner voice reasoned, soul-searching. It's justice, making them feel the weight of their choice. Their exclusion, their reliance on my stability, had erased me, and I needed them to see me, not as their safety net, but as a daughter, a sister, betrayed. My first move was financial, leveraging my analyst's expertise. I'd met Lila's recommended advisor, Ms. Chun, a sharp CPA who'd fortified my defenses. My savings moved to a protected account, my credit frozen to block their guarantor claim. Now I targeted their vulnerability, the mortgage's delinquency. I emailed the lender, attaching the foreclosure notice, requesting a review of unauthorized guarantor listing, and copying Mom and Dad. The email was formal, citing discrepancies, but its intent was clear. Alert the bank to their default, pressure them to act, force my parents to confront their debt without my rescue. They need to feel this, my inner monologue insisted, but pain surged, picturing Mom's worry, Dad's defeat. Am I hurting them too much? My heart questioned, emotional upheaval shaking my resolve. Next, I turned to Fiona, whose irresponsibility, $22,000 income, $2,000 payment, had fueled this mess. I researched her business, Fiona Designs, scraping public records and social media. Her Instagram boasted clients, but her tax returns showed losses, her big client a fiction. I contacted her landlord from her old Portland studio, posing as a reference checker, and learned she'd skipped rent, leaving debts. She's a pattern, my inner voice noted, anger flaring, but guilt lingered. She's my sister, struggling too. My plan was subtle. I sent an anonymous tip to a local design blog, hinting at Fiona's financial troubles, knowing her industry thrived on reputation. A damaged image might force her to pay, or at least face her role. She chose this, my inner monologue justified, but my heart ached, our childhood laughter. Fiona's crayon drawings, my bedtime stories, a ghost I couldn't shake. The consequences came swiftly, a ripple effect I'd calculated but hadn't fully braced for. The lender responded, copying me, demanding a $15,000 payment within 10 days or foreclosure proceedings would begin. Mom called, her voice trembling. "Agatha, the bank's threatening us. Why did you contact them?" Her panic was a knife, my inner monologue wavering. I didn't want to scare her. I stayed firm, my voice calm. "Mom, you took out the mortgage without me. You listed me as guarantor. I'm protecting myself." She stammered. "We thought Fiona would. We didn't mean to hurt you." But her excuse was hollow. Her reliance on Fiona's lies a choice I couldn't forgive. They still choose her. My heart mourned, pain cutting deep, but resolve held. I'm not their fix. Dad was next, his voice gruff over the phone. "Agatha, this is our home. You're making it worse." His anger stung, his assumption that I'd yield a fresh betrayal. "Dad, you made this choice," I said, my voice steady, tears burning. "I'm not paying for Fiona's house." He hung up, his silence a wall, and I sat, shaking, my inner monologue a storm. Am I losing them? Is this worth it? A flashback hit. I was 20, covering Dad's car repair, his "you're a godsend" warming me then, crushing me now, his gratitude conditional on my sacrifice. I was never their daughter, just their solution. My inner voice grieved, emotional upheaval threatening to break me, but hope flickered. I'm fighting for me. Fiona's reaction was sharper. A text storm after the blog post went live, hinting at her unreliable finances. "Agatha, did you do this? My clients are asking questions." I didn't reply, my plan's anonymity a shield, but her call followed, her voice shrill. "You're ruining me. I told you I'd pay." Her lie, her single payment, her unsigned promissory note, fueled my resolve. "Fiona, you knew they couldn't afford it," I said, my voice cold. "Pay it yourself." She hung up, her silence a concession, and I felt a quiet power, not joy, but justice, my inner monologue steadying. She's facing her mess, not mine. The fallout reshaped our family, a fracture I'd ignited. Mom left voicemails, tearful. "Agatha, we're sorry, let's talk." Dad's texts were curt. "Meet us, fix this." Fiona's social media went quiet, her booming business faltering, a client canceling per a leaked DM I'd seen. The lender escalated, sending a foreclosure warning, and I learned through Lila that Mom and Dad were scrambling, dipping into retirement funds, Fiona promising payments she couldn't make. "They're hurting," my inner voice mourned, guilt rising, but resolve held. They chose this, not me. The effects on me were profound. Sleepless nights, my trust gone, my identity as daughter, sister unmoored. Who am I without them? My inner monologue questioned, soul-searching, but a new Agatha emerged, one who valued her worth, her boundaries. My plan evolved, its first steps ongoing. I hired a lawyer, Ms. Patel, to nullify the guarantor claim. Her will sue for fraud if needed, a safeguard. I sent Mom and Dad a letter, formal, outlining my refusal to pay, urging them to sell Fiona's house or refinance, my tone firm but not cruel. "I love you, but this isn't mine to fix." I monitored Fiona's finances, ready to tip regulators if she dodged taxes, a last resort I hoped to avoid. "This isn't about destruction," my inner voice affirmed, hope flickering. "It's about fairness." A flashback surfaced. Fiona's 25th birthday, her Paris return, my quiet gift, a scarf, overshadowed by Mom's necklace. I gave, they took, my heart ached, but now I was taking back, not my love, but my power. The consequences were a mirror, reflecting their choices, my pain, our fracture. Have I gone too far? My inner monologue wavered, emotional upheaval a tide, but the blog post's impact, the lender's pressure, were my voice, long silenced, now heard. They see me now, my heart resolved, not as fixer, but as Agatha, wronged but rising. The rain stopped, the fog lifting, but a shadow loomed. Fiona's next move, their response, a confrontation I couldn't predict. I stood, my plan a fragile armor, their reactions a weight, the next clash a question that could heal us, or break us forever. The Seattle sky was a rare canvas of blue, its clarity a quiet gift as I, Agatha, stood at the edge of a new beginning. At 39, I'd severed ties with my family, their $523,000 mortgage for my sister Fiona's queen and mansion, a debt they expected me to pay, revealing a betrayal too deep to mend. Documents, Fiona's lies, and their false guarantor claim exposed their irresponsibility, their favoritism, excluding me from a choice that risked their Ravenna home and my future. My calculated push, alerting the lender, tipping a blog about Fiona's finances, forced them to face their actions, but their tearful pleas, Fiona's accusations, and Dad's anger couldn't sway me. I'd walked away, not with malice, but with resolve, choosing myself over their chaos. Now, in my Fremont apartment, I was building a new life, my heart a mix of pain, strength, and hope, ready to forge a future that was mine alone. The decision to end contact came after Mom's last voicemail, her voice breaking. "Agatha, we're losing the house. Please come back." I'd listened, tears falling, but deleted it, my inner monologue firm. I can't fix them anymore. Their foreclosure was real. The lender had acted, their retirement funds drained, Fiona's payments non-existent. And while guilt stung, I knew their choices, not mine, had led there. I was their daughter, not their bank, my inner voice affirmed, a truth that anchored me. I blocked their numbers, Fiona's too, a painful but necessary cut, my trust in them shattered, my role as fixer buried. "I'm free," my heart whispered, hope flickering, but the weight of loss lingered, their absence a void I'd learned to navigate. Building a new life began with small, deliberate steps, each a reclaiming of the Agatha I'd lost. I stayed in my apartment, its simplicity a comfort, but redecorated, painting the walls a soft sage, hanging prints from local artists, a mountain sketch, a Puget sound wave. "This is mine," my inner monologue smiled, each choice a step past their shadow. I revived old passions, joining a pottery class at a community center, my hands shaping clay into bowls, their curves imperfect but honest. The tactile joy, the wheels hum, was a balm, a reminder of dreams, art, travel I'd shelved for them. "I'm enough," my inner voice declared, strength growing, the betrayal's sting fading with each creation. Challenges were real, testing my resolve. Loneliness hit hardest, evenings quiet without Mom's calls, Fiona's texts, even their flawed love. Did I lose too much? My inner monologue wavered, pain resurfacing, memories of family dinners, Dad's bad jokes, Fiona's laugh, a ghost. I countered it with new connections, leaning on Lila, my CPA friend, who invited me to book clubs, her "you're a badass," Agatha, a mirror to my growth. Work was another hurdle, my tech firm's deadlines piled up, my focus fraying under emotional strain. I sought therapy, a first, meeting Dr. Nguyen weekly, her gentle probes. "What do you want, Agatha?" Unearthing my need to define myself, not as daughter, sister, but as me. I'm learning, my heart resolved, each session a brick in my new foundation. Successes came, quiet but profound. At work, I pitched a data visualization project, my analysis streamlining a client's workflow, earning a rare "well done" from my boss. The bonus, $5,000, went to a travel fund, my dream of Japan's temples taking shape. "This is for me," my inner monologue beamed, pride swelling, their mortgage no longer my burden. Pottery class yielded a glazed mug, its blue drip my first gift to myself, a symbol of creation over sacrifice. I joined a hiking group, my boots crunching Olympic Peninsula trails, the forest hush a space to breathe, to heal. I'm alive, my inner voice sang, strength deepening, the betrayal a scar, not a wound. My relationship with my family was over, their choices a closed chapter, but moving past them was a journey. Therapy helped Dr. Nguyen's questions. What did their love cost you? Revealing how I'd tied my worth to their needs. A flashback surfaced. I was 15, saving for college, Mom asking me to lend $200 for Fiona's dance camp. I'd given it, her, "You're so generous," a fleeting reward, but now I saw the cost, my dreams deferred, my trust exploited. I deserved better, my inner monologue affirmed, not bitter, but clear, releasing their hold. I wrote a letter, unsent, to them. I loved you, but I love me too. I'm not your solution. It was closure, my strength in choosing silence over their chaos. The effects lingered, a quiet ache. I heard through Lila that Mom and Dad had sold their bungalow, moving to a rental, Fiona's house listed, her business faltering. They're surviving, my inner voice noted, guilt easing, their consequences theirs, not mine. I didn't gloat, my plan, the lender's pressure, the blog tip, was justice, not cruelty, a way to be seen, not to destroy. I'm past them, my heart resolved, hope rising, my life no longer theirs to shape. My hopes for the future were modest, but vivid. I planned a trip to Kyoto in a year, cherry blossoms my goal, my savings growing monthly. I wanted to teach pottery someday, a side gig to share my joy, my mug stacking in my cupboard to start. I dreamed of a small house, maybe in West Seattle, its garden mine to tend, a route I'd plan alone. I'll build slowly, my inner monologue vowed, strength steady, my analyst's precision now for me, not them. I hoped for love, not romance yet, but deeper friendships, a chosen family, Lila's laughter a seed already sown. One Sunday, I walked to Fremont Park, the air crisp, the canal glinting under a spring sun. I sat on a bench, a pottery mug of tea warm in my hands, its blue glaze catching the light. The park hummed, kids on swings, dogs chasing balls, but I was still, my heart whole, not healed, but mine. I'm Agatha, my inner monologue narrated, a message of strength, truth, resilience, not triumphant, but grounded. I've lost them, but found me, built a life from betrayal's ashes, strong not because I won, but because I chose. The tea was bitter, grounding, the sun warm, a quiet symbol of my freedom. I sipped, the world unfolding, my future a path I'd walk alone, with hope, with strength, with me.